everyone who's watching this video. My name is Mobile. I am a group of presenting to you the views and the perspectives of gender in deep details. The whole presentation will be about the views of these three theorists on gender. So firstly, I would like to define the term gender because in some way most people contradict the information about gender and sex. So gender is the natural distinction of sex. People are being gendered by the conceptions of task, functions, and the role attributed to men and women. It is constantly created and recreated out of the human interaction, out of the social life, and it is the texture and order of that social life. Meaning that gender is being learned. There are some of the things that one should learn or one should do in order to be determined in the particular type of gender. So the actions of the person or the way in which the person feels, it is determining his or her gender. The person can be the female outside, but inside, if maybe she feels like the male, then that person also being regarded as gender. That is why we've got some lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and other types of genders. And sex, it is the biological trait. It is what the person appears to be. If maybe you see the person and you say, no, the structure of this person is of the female, those things are being referred to sex because the physical appearance of the person is one that is being referred to the sex instead of gender. Okay, so we've got our chart here. This is the structure of the female, this is the structure of the male. So these are the inside these structures, we've got some examples on how these theorists view gender. In this first portion, we've got the sociologist views. The second part is the functionalist views and the complex theorist views. So this whole presentation will be about these three theorists, and in our conclusion, we will speak about some critiques of these three theorists. So I will hand over my presentation to my colleague, who is going to present in details the sociologist perspectives on gender. Thank you.
I'll be taking you through the views of sociologists on gender. Firstly, it is used to be thought that a woman is a woman because of her ovaries alone. But later, we see that there are many individuals with ovaries who are not women, and there are also those with testes who really are feminine in many other aspects. That is why we have people who are lesbians, gays, and bisexuals. Sociologists believe that gender is not about the biological differences between men and women. They believe that understanding the differences between men and women changes historically. They view gender as something that we become, and that we are shaped into being feminine or masculine by the powerful social structures, which is our community that we live in. Gender is related to the roles that one plays in the society. For example, a man is not a man because of his testes, but because of being able to look after his family. So now, looking at our collage, we have pictures that clearly depict what I've just explained. Firstly, here we have a male who doesn't actually recognize himself as a male. He sees himself as a woman. And also here we have a female who have a strong physical appearance, which means she on the outside she looks like a male, although she is a female inside. We also have bisexuals, and bisexuals are those who are males and also females who have these two feelings to be mixed together. And also we have gays as well as lesbians. I think that clearly explained what I was trying to say about the views of sociologists on gender. Thank you.
Although sociologists differentiate between sex and gender, functionalists, on the other hand, focuses on gender roles. Functionalists posit that different labor duties are needed to ensure smooth running of the family and social cohesion. This way, males remain dominant and women submit and are viewed as subordinate. So now looking at it in a workplace, male and female can be assigned to the same duties or same level of duties, but the difference will be on their compensation. They will be compensated differently. Functionalists believe that to maintain harmony within the society, male and female should know their duties. This in turn will ensure that there is no conflict within the society, because males know what to do and women know what to do. So our parents, in this perspective, they groom us in a very earlier stage. Like as you see in this picture, these are small girls. They are playing with dollies because they are girls. Their parents are assigning them to the duties of being females. On the other hand, here are the males on the male picture. These male boys are playing soccer because it is what is known as males. It is what males are groomed to do, to play soccer. Our parents, when we are born, they make dreams for us. They predict our future, and therefore they groom us to be what they want us to be as males or as females. Like you see, a male is regarded as someone who can be a breadwinner in the family. In this picture, you see that a female is doing all the domestic work, whilst the man is in his suit and he's going to work and he's like feeling the power of being the man in the family. So on the other hand, women are doing all the house chores and men are relaxing. So this ensures that our duties are different as male and female. So functionalists in this perspective are looking at how to shape our society into being one society where there is no conflict and one is looking to their duties.
According to the conflict theory, society is defined by a struggle for dominance amongst social groups that compete for scarcity resources. In the context of gender, conflict theory argues that gender is best understood as men trying to maintain power and privilege to the disadvantage of women. Therefore, men can be seen as dominant group and women as subordinate group, while certain gender roles may have been suitable in the hunter-gatherer society. Conflict theory argues that the only reason why these roles have continued is because the dominant group naturally works to maintain their power and status. According to the conflict theory, social problems are created when dominant groups exploit or oppress subordinate groups. Therefore, the approach is normative in that it prescribes changes to the power structure, encouraging a balance of power between genders. In most cultures, men have historically held most of the world's resources. Women in the Western cultures could not vote or own properties, making them entirely dependent on men. Men, like any other group with power or wealth advantage, forced to maintain the control over resources, in this case political and economic power. Conflicts between the two groups caused things like the women suffrage movement, which was responsible for social change. Contemporary conflict theories suggest that when women become wage earners, they gain power in the family structure, whereby, like this picture illustrates, when women become wage earners, there's a shift of power. The power does not only rely on the men, now the woman also has some power. The conflict theory is generally about equality and promoting equality amongst the two genders. That no one gender should dominate. Power should be shared equally. That men should understand women as individuals who are able and not dependent on men for survival. Now I would like to allow my fellow group mates to discuss the critique of the functionalist and the conflict theories.
Humble greeting to you all. As my colleagues have discussed the views of gender according to sociologists and also the functionalists and lastly the conflict theorists, my take on this presentation will be on what? The critic views on both theories, which are functionalism and the Marxism. The functionalist theory have been criticized mostly by whom? By the feminists and by the Marxists. The feminists have criticized this theory by what? By ignoring the fact that the men are dominating the society. They are dominating whom? The women. Women have been oppressed by the men. So the feminists fight for what? For equal rights in the society, for both genders. And then the functionalists state that as long we all play our roles in society, everything is okay, the society functions well. And also the Marxists have criticized this theory by what? By ignoring the fact that resources and power is distributed unequally in the society. For instance, in the workplace, you will find the woman and the man doing what? The same position. And yes, the man earns more than a woman, because a man is deemed as what? As a sole provider in the home. And yet out there we still have what? Single mothers who are taking care of what? Of their families alone. Which is not the fact that the men are the providers at home. Move on to what now? The conflict theories critiques. This theory has been criticized mostly by whom? By the functionalists, by the traditionalists, and by what? By the faith believers. The functionalists have criticized this theory by doing what? It creates a genderless society, where areas we no longer have what? A gender in the society. We all play towards equal roles, and there's no such thing as what? Playing equal roles. For instance, a man will never be pregnant, and the woman will never impregnate a man. Meaning what? Women's role in the society is to reproduce, and the man's role in society what? Is to take care of the family. And also the traditionalists have criticized this theory by doing what? It kills our traditional ways of living, where a man's role is to be a leader and a father in the society. And the woman's role in the society is to be what? Is to be submissive to a man. And the faith believers have criticized this theory by ignoring the fact that there is no such thing as many genders, as the Bible stated. We only have two genders, male and woman. And that we only have what? Adam and the Eve in the beginning. We did not have the Adam and Adamis. Moving on, they criticize that it creates a sinful acts such as what? Lesbianism, gayism, and also bisexualism. There's no such thing that it goes against what? The God's will, the God's will. The Bible only states that we have only two genders in the society. That's why the faith believers criticize this theory. Okay, to sum it all now, this video presentation has presented what? The views of sociologists. And what are the views of sociologists? It does sociologists views gender according to what? To the way you behave in a society. For instance, Ukaya Dada, whom is well known of GC Unozal, is what? Is a man or have a man physique. And yes, she feels what? As a female inside. So the sociologist will only view her as what? As a female, not only her physique. And also the functionalist view on gender is that as long we all play our roles in the society will function well. And the Marxist views that we need to play equal role in the society. There's no such thing as a man's role and a woman's role. And the critic use of the functionalist that is ignore the fact that there is sexism that exists in the society, which was oppressed women. And the Marxist critic uses that it promotes a gender society where we no longer have a gender, and also it promotes or it perpetuates what? Sinful acts such as what? The lesbianism and the gayism. And to conclude it all, that has been it for what our video. Thank you.